This is Renan DeBarros with DeBarros Ministries, also beautiful Sarasota channel. We are live on Facebook. We're live on DeBarros Ministries YouTube channel, also beautiful Sarasota YouTube channel. Of course, we're here from Sarasota, and we're a safe location, and everything is well. Our family is good, and Sarasota has incurred major power outages. And of course, a lot of internet is down, so we don't have a lot of communication via internet, except for I'm here. Apparently Frontier internet does work, and I am at my sister's house where Frontier internet does work, but Xfinity is still up in the air when they're going to come back and be live for internet. But I wanted to share what's going on with Hurricane Ian and our relief efforts for Southwest Florida. You know, the Lord has used us in the past to bring relief to different areas. We have been able to mobilize in the dozens, not in the hundreds, but volunteers in the past to go to the most effective places by hurricanes when it's at our reach to do so. When Hurricane Irma came through, it was unexpected that it would take a turn and go through the south of Florida, Everglades City to be specific, and then coming north into Immokalee. Those were very affected areas, and there was a lot of destruction there, and the Lord prepared us before the hurricane even hit to be able to go and minister to those folks and to provide relief, and we did that successfully, thank God. A lot of people were able to receive supplies and prayer, and people came to the Lord, and physical healings and manifested, and a move of the Holy Spirit. Praise God. Now we were also, through the storm. We knew we were getting hit by the storm, but not as hard as some of our neighbors. I traveled to Port Charlotte yesterday. I want to share some footage with you guys. Also want to share some photos and be able to share with you what the conditions are right now, so that we as a community here, maybe in Sarasota and abroad, who have not been as heavily impacted as our neighbors, can come together, and whether it's volunteer needs or other needs for the community, we can start to bring in some of these needs to be met through our efforts, and be able to do it upon others as Jesus has instructed us to do. Go and preach the gospel, but also, feed the hungry and clothe the ones who are not clothed and the naked, and heal the sick, and bring people to the knowledge of his goodness. So one of the things that as people are logging in, and if you share this, I appreciate it, because we are trying to mobilize people, resources, and prayers in order to make an impact in the southwest region of Florida. We have, I want to bring up to you Isaiah, which is something that the Lord spoke to me some time ago from Isaiah 58. And verse 8 says, well, let's start with verse 6. Is this not the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bonds of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, to let the oppressed go free, and that you break every yoke? Is it not to share your bread with the hungry, and that you bring to your house the poor who are cast out? When you see the naked, that you cover him, and not hide yourself from your own flesh? Then your light shall break forth like the morning. Your healing shall spring forth speedily, and your righteousness shall go before you. The glory of the Lord shall be your rear guard. Then you shall call, and the Lord will answer. You shall cry, and he will say, Here I am. If you take away the yoke from your midst, the pointing of the finger and speaking wickedness, if you extend your soul to the hungry and satisfy the afflicted soul, then your light shall dawn in the darkness, and your darkness shall be as the noonday. The Lord will guide you continually and satisfy your soul in drought, and strengthen your bones. You shall be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters do not fail. Those from among you shall build the old waste places. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. and you shall be called the repairer of the breach and the restorer of the streets to dwell in. And I believe that is our position, to be the restorers of the streets to dwell in, to be the repairer of the breach. There has been something happened in Northport, Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda. We drove through Punta Gorda yesterday. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would be underwater. Punta Gorda seems to be hit, but in okay shape, considering some other places south of there, like Fort Myers and Marco Island and the other peninsulas or islands and keys out near Fort Myers are underwater. But the Punta Gorda seems to be doing okay. People are already going through repairs. These are some of the images that I found in Port Charlotte of the people, of the neighborhoods there. So you can see there's power lines all over the place. These are people's yards, and you can see these electric lines all over the place. This is not just an isolated case either. It's everywhere. You see people's homes with power lines and transformers laying right on their grass, right in their front yard. You can see it all over the place. Large trees gone to people's through people's roofs and through homes, blocking the streets. Power lines all over, blocking the streets as well. We had to dodge a lot of them and walk through them. Now, there's no power in the entire city, so citywide they have no electricity. We have a lot of homes in one neighborhood that we saw where the roofs were torn off. There were carports. I saw one particular, the carport lifted up and took an entire wall to the side of the house with it. We were over there talking to some folks, praying with people, and looking at ways and how we could come from a better part of Southwest Florida and maybe help. One of the things that we saw in all the business districts is that everything is closed down. A lot of parking lots are flooded. There is just, of course, destruction everywhere. And we're seeing this all throughout Port Charlotte. And from what I hear, Northport is underwater as well. A lot of parts of it are underwater. I can only imagine what it looks like. We didn't get much of a chance to go to Northport yesterday. Let's see if you guys are hearing me okay. If you're hearing me okay, would you give me a thumbs up? I know the internet is very spotty. I know very few people are actually able to access the internet right now. But I'd love to know whether my sound is coming through well enough for me to continue. Let me see. Output. Mac Mini speakers. Okay. All right. It sounds like I am coming through. All right. So, some more photos here. Videos. So this is one of the needs that we saw the most. There are no stores. There's no electricity. There's no help there. And there probably won't be for a while. These stores like Publix or chain restaurants, Burger King, these places like, Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, they won't be open for a while. There's no electricity, and there won't be. I mean, if you look at this, it's not something they want to do is just turn the electric back on. They have to go through all of these neighborhoods, and there are many of them like this. And they have to pick the stuff up. This is dangerous. It'd be responsible for them to do anything else and to clean this stuff up before they actually bring in the efforts to turn the stuff back on. These are running through people's homes, through people's yards, and all over the roads. There is not one traffic light that is working right now down there. Everything is on a four-way stop scenario. And people need more. We may be very fortunate over here, and many people in Port Charlotte may be so fortunate that they actually have food pantries, walk-in food pantries, or at least lots of cabinets full of food. A lot of these people that we've been meeting in these neighborhoods, they have very small houses. Their houses were completely destroyed, and they don't have any food stored up. It's not something that they have been able to accumulate over time. If you're just joining the broadcast right now, could you go ahead and share it? This is important. We're looking to bring relief to an area of much need over there, and would appreciate it if you share this so that other people can see it. The ones that do have internet already, it would be a great effort if you did share it so other people that actually have internet and are able to see this would be able to help as well, our neighbors in Florida. The magnitude of impact for the families that don't have any food, if you imagine, they have a lot of people in the house. They did not evacuate for many reasons. Some of them have lots of pets, and they're lower income. They don't have money for a hotel or a place to go. They want to hunker down and stay. Many of them, what we were hearing repeatedly from them, were that this was the worst night that they've ever had in their lives. They were shaking inside their house. Things were breaking off. Roofs were flying out. Thank God they were safe, but this was the most terrifying night that they've ever experienced in their lives. So these people are in a state of shock, trauma. They're looking to continue on with their lives, and they're doing a cleanup and helping one another in the neighborhoods that we've seen, but they would give anything for a nice warm plate of food right now. As you can see that one place where a lot of people lined up for food, and some of them probably stayed there for well over an hour waiting for a hot meal, and a food truck was down there. So we've called on to, as you see, these parking lots are completely filled with water. And none of these stores like a Publix is going to operate at this time. And people don't have backup food in their pantries. There's a lot of restoring to be happening. This is a community also in Port Charlotte that already had to rebuild. This is the line for gas in one gas station. I'm not sure if they did have gas at the time. A lot of people are just lining up to wait for gas when the tankers come in, and they do come, but you can see the line goes all the way down of people waiting to get into the gas station to try to get even a little bit of gas to continue with their days. Again, if you're just joining the broadcast, please go ahead and share it. We would love for this word to get out, because we have seen one of the biggest needs that they have down there, especially in the lower income communities. We saw them coming in droves to a little corner store that had just reopened, and I'm sure they were doing everything cash, and they had to, and they probably had some supplies or food and water that people wanted, so they were flooding the streets going to this little tiny store, and I'm talking little tiny store in a corner that in a lower income community. So you can imagine they probably didn't have a lot of resources, but they opened up to be able to help the community with whatever they had, and as far as water and other things. So I'm sure food as well. And as you can see with the food truck there's a big need for food in that area. So we have communicated with food trucks in Southwest Florida. We thank God for a relationship with the food truck community through beautiful Sarasota and the videos that we've done, that we're able to do a call for them. And we thank also Laura from Mama Laura's Barbecue food truck that has opened up this community to us to invite them to come to Port Charlotte and be able to help. So we have a few food trucks going in today, and we're going to situate these trucks in the area and provide warm meals for the people there. Now, I would love for this to be at an even more affordable rate for the folks of Port Charlotte, because they have already gone through a traumatizing experience. They've already gone through destruction and havoc through their neighborhoods, and their houses completely destroyed and roofs completely torn off. And they would give all their money for a nice warm plate of food right now, and we want to alleviate that for them. And with your help, we believe we can. The Barrows Ministries will be making a donation of $500 to start. And we're believing that others will come alongside us and donate to the cause so that we can, at the very best, reduce the price. We don't want to give food away for free and have people take advantage of this, but also we don't want it to be at a normal price. It would be wise for us to support these food trucks as they're coming down, that they get paid the right amount for their meals so that they can continue to do this over a period of time until the stores open up and until some more help comes from relief from FEMA and so on. Now, just to give you an idea, in some of these places, relief may not come for a while because there are more affected areas. So if you look at the order in which FEMA is going to do things, they will come to Port Charlotte eventually. They're going to be supplying water and food and things like that to Port Charlotte once all of their efforts are put into places that were more heavily affected even and are underwater. Search and rescue, and also food and supplies and immediate needs for places like Fort Myers and Cape Coral and Sanibel, which I don't even think you can get to Sanibel at this point, but search and rescue and things like that. So we would love to see a partnership from folks who you share this with, and as the Lord leads you to also give into this project. I'm going to put on Facebook the link where people can hook up and donate. It's thebarrowsministries.org. I'll put it in the comment on Facebook. Right on the front page, at the top of the page, we've just added a link that says, help restore Southwest Florida. Help us restore Southwest Florida Hurricane Ian relief efforts. And there's a click there that says donate. Now, as I've experienced in the past with these things, the need changes on nearly a daily basis. So we are prepared to, and when collecting actual funds for this, we're prepared to direct those funds as the need changes. I know that right now, food is one of the biggest needs. So food trucks, it would be nice for us to be able to have a continuous supply of food from food trucks, which, by the way, are coming from mostly not just Sarasota, but even north in the Tampa area. And they're driving down where they can actually have access to the food, because a lot of places in Sarasota are still closed. It's kind of hard to get a renew on supplies. So if we're able to help these trucks and fund partially, at least some of these meals, they can sell it for cash at a lower rate for the people in Port Charlotte, which we'll be monitoring. We'll be the boots on the ground over there and make sure that people get food at an affordable rate for a prolonged period of time until food comes. Now, once that problem gets resolved and food supplies come from the federal government and local state governments, we can actually start shifting those funds as it comes in for relief. We can start spending that into other things that will be needed, like building materials or power tools and things that we can do to cut walls down that have that need to be removed, or removing floors or generators and other things like that, in order to reestablish even electricity at places that may have medical necessities and so on that are not yet reestablished at that point. So we will work on a per need basis, and as the time goes on. And we would love to have everybody's participation in helping us with this. As the Lord leads you to do so, we would love to see more people get involved. Let me share this with a few groups as well right now, so that more folks get to see some of this. I have to go meet with a food truck right now. Within the next 15, 20 minutes, I have to leave, but I am here also. If you guys have any more questions, I'll show some of the videos and pictures that we've taken recently with the group. I know a lot of people still don't have internet, and I know a lot of people are still having a hard time connecting to the internet. If you have the internet, you may be having a tough time actually getting to it. Food Truck Sarasota. And let's also share it to the Barrows Ministries page, if you guys bear along with me, and beautiful Sarasota's page. It is important for us to come together now as the body of Christ to help people within our community. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Give me one moment, guys. I'll be right back. Spill water. I just got water all over the counter here and the floor. I'm going to go ahead and play for you some of the scenes that we took yesterday. I'm going through Port Charlotte. There are transformers and power cables and all over the streets and many neighborhoods. This is what you see all over the place.
Solar panel out there. Yeah, everything's so. I have water. When the rain, I didn't know. I don't understand all these things. What I do now, I haven't slept, so I'm kind of a basket case right now. But
I can only see there we had to actually dodge through a lot of this. There were places that were completely inaccessible by car because of this is just incredible, that car. How it got there, I don't know. And here's where we saw a lot of people who would do anything just to get a plate of food. Please share this. We are raising efforts, raising funds, possibly bringing down volunteers as well as the needs arise, as we find areas and places where we can bring relief efforts for Southwest Florida here from Sarasota, Bradenton areas. We'll also be taking a look at Northport. This is the line of people stacking up for gas. I'm not sure there was even gas in that gas station, but people were hopeful to be able to get gas. And the line stacks up for a while there. It's incredible what's happening. I know there are worse places even, but I would appreciate if you share this. If you would like to contribute to these relief efforts, like, again, the first thing that we'll be doing is providing food at a lower rate than would usually be sold for by food trucks that we have going down to Southwest Florida right now. We're going to situate these food trucks in heavy traffic, foot traffic areas from neighborhoods where people don't own cars, or if they do, have been destroyed. Their homes have been completely destroyed, and roofs are all over the place. They're lower end manufactured homes, or just old, very, very old homes in the neighborhoods in Southport, Charlotte, near the bridge, about within 1 or 2 miles from the bridge to Punta Gorda on 41. There are lots of neighborhoods we saw that were completely destroyed, and these people don't have basic needs like food. They may have some cash, and we don't want to. We want them to be taken care of. We don't want people to take advantage of the situation. So we perhaps just paying 100% for the food. If they are in a certain need, we'll talk to the community, and I believe we would provide food for families that are in very dire needs, of course, and would be able to provide it for free. But if we can provide the community with lower than normal prices from food trucks, as a nonprofit, we will pay for a portion of of that food so that people can afford it and get it at a lower price, and we're able to supply food to that area. I think it would be very valuable. The way you do that is you go to the Barrows Ministries. Hi, Angel. Nice to see you. The Barrows Ministries. That's my last name, DEBARROS Ministries.org. You will see on the front page, provide help to help us restore Southwest Florida. You click on that donate button. Funds will be going towards this effort. And please share this, and we'll be able to provide help quickly. And the Barrows Ministries is also donating towards it immediately. And we're seeing how many funds we can raise. And also help. As we go there today, I'm sure there will be other areas of need that we will find. And as the need arises in other areas, we'll be communicating that with you as well. Of course, it's very difficult to communicate these things when we are at a very short of internet supply throughout the state. When we're down there, there's literally very little internet, and there's no cell reception in most cases. AT&T has seemed to work okay there, but most people don't have any connection to the outside world. A lot of people that we talked to, or a few that we talked to in the streets, didn't even know what happened. Like, where did the hurricane come in? They haven't had the news for a long time. They haven't had access to internet or their phones, or been able to talk to anybody for a long time outside of where they are. So they don't really know what happened with the hurricane. Where did the eye of the hurricane actually go in? And they're not even sure, other than just looking around and seeing the damage that's occurred in their homes. This family right here on the right, they actually evacuated to Inglewood, and they came back, and everything was destroyed. They said that this was the worst night they've ever experienced in their lifetime in Inglewood, which is another area that was very hardly hit. This lady right here had about 1 foot to 2 feet of water inside her home, which has now subsided some. And she's got power lines all over her backyard. She's, we were able to talk to her for some time and see if she needed any extra help. We were looking for elderly and single moms that we could help. The community seems to be coming around one another, which is a great thing, at least here where we saw in Southport, Charlotte. But we would love to see these people well supplied with food. This is one thing that they are in lack of, because, again, none of the stores are open. None of the stores will open for a very long time. This is, you folks here in Sarasota may have had a day without electricity. We had over 24 hours, almost 2 days without electricity. Now our power is back on. These folks won't have their power back on for a very long time, because, as you can see, there's power lines all over yards and across trees and blocking streets, and they're actually right in the middle of the street. Many streets you can't access via car because these power lines are right on people's driveway and across the streets and crossing streets and so on. There's no traffic lights working. It's dark at night. I wouldn't drive down there. We try to leave before it gets completely dark because you don't know what branches are still on the road. You have to avoid a lot of stuff when you're driving all the time, and you don't want to run into any water that may be taking your car sideways. So we try to make sure that we leave before sun sets. As you can see here, this was kind of close, and we saw the sun setting. And after taking this footage of people lining up at the gas station, we actually took off and headed back here. And now the after effects of the storm are just as tough as the actual effects of the storm while it's happening. Because, for instance, our Sozo Web agency, where we have our office at Sozo, which is just east of the interstate on Frueville, was fine, and we even had electricity yesterday. Well, sometime yesterday afternoon, the electricity was shut down. There's been a major flood in our streets, which then this morning has overtaken all the streets around the office. We can't even access our office right now. We wouldn't have much use for it, but it was nice when we did have electricity because it was smelling better in there than it potentially will be when we get back without electricity for however long we don't know, and how the flooding situation is going to resolve. So these things are happening south as well, to where things may be okay one day, and who knows what other side effects we'll see, after effects from the aftermath of the storm. So we will be there. We'll be assessing the situation, taking a look at what it is that is needed on a daily basis on the days that we go there. We do know that the biggest need is warm, hot food. Supplies will come. There will be canned goods, and there will be a lot of people bringing in things that they can survive on. But we're trying to make an impact on the situation by having the food trucks that we have relationships with now through the food truck community, by the work that we've done with the YouTube channel that we have called Beautiful Sarasota. We've done some food truck vlogs. The food truck community has embraced us. We love them. And they love working with us and seeing what we can do together. And here's an opportunity where we're sending out food trucks even from the north part of the west coast of Florida, like Tampa and other places, St. Pete. I know Untamed Kitchen is coming down today. We also have Miguel, who I'm going to meet with here in just a moment, who is also coming down, and the name of his food truck is El Indio Tacos and Snacks. So he has good, affordable meals. We would love to make these meals even more affordable. We're looking for donations to be able to bring relief to that area and have people pay less than they would have to, because they've just gone through a traumatizing event. They've just gone through a very tough time. We'd love for them to be supplied with food for less than what it would cost them normally because of the conditions that they're in, and be able to pay for that to the food trucks so that the food trucks can continue to operate for an extended period of time without burning out, without exhausting themselves. These are not your millionaires. These are your mom and pop's food trucks, places, people who are very hardworking, and also, we can reward them for the work that they're doing right now and bringing relief there. Make sure that their meals are paid for, but the people of Port Charlotte don't have to pay for the full amount of the meal. So if you'd like to contribute to that, again, it's the Barrows Ministries. That's D as in David, E, B as in boy, ARROS, the Barrows Ministries.org. Right on the front page, you'll see a donate button, and you can donate there to help with this relief. Share this with everybody you can. We will have more images. I have more footage and other things that I'm not able to share right now. I don't have enough time to be loading things up. It took me about an hour and a half or two just to prepare to go online, because I have had very little access to the internet except for when I'm here at my sister's house. No internet in my house. I just told you our office, or our web agency's office, is completely flooded. The streets around it, there's no internet there either. But we can't even access it at this point. Thank God we had already brought our equipment out of there and into a couple of different spots where we can broadcast from and continue to talk to you guys about. But if you don't share this, there will be very little reach. There will be very little people that will hear this. And I'm looking forward to getting this word out and continuing to build the visibility of the things that we'll be bringing back from Northport, Port Charlotte, Venice areas to make an impact in the name of Jesus, to bring relief in the name of Jesus as a community of believers. Ashley Hughes, thank you for being on the broadcast. Nice to see you. God bless you all for what you're doing. Haven't been able to find my grandmother who lives there. Is there anyone who could check on her? Absolutely, Ashley, if you would private message me her address, her physical address. I'm going down. We're actually heading down right now. We're going to be heading down with food trucks, and we will check on an address that you send us. We'd love to do that and report back to you. A lot of the people there, they're okay. They just don't have any cell phone connection. They don't have any internet connection. So don't panic. We'll check on things for you and see if we can help in any way. And as soon as I have internet connection again, I'll let you know. A lot of work to be done, guys. I can't be here all day. I do have to go meet with Miguel right now. Let me send him a text too. If you guys have any other questions or any things like that, like Ashley just shown concern for, we would love to connect with you. Please comment, and I'll be able to reply before we check out of the broadcast. I mean, how does that car get there? That is unbelievable. In the water. And this is what we're seeing in the neighborhood everywhere. You can't cross the streets with power lines all over. And it's like this everywhere. We didn't take as much footage as, and I didn't load up all the footage that I actually have. I have a lot more. I wasn't able to load up. It would take me too much time to prepare and go live and do everything that we need to do to get back down there. So please share this so that we can make a bigger impact in Southwest Florida with all the people. I've been seeing how people have been going online on my timelines and how can we help? Does anybody need any help? Does anybody need a shower? Come to my house. Does anybody need any food? Come to my house. Yes, these people need help. They need food, and you don't have to leave home for it. We're doing the work. We're going out there. You will see the impact. We'll directly get videos with these food trucks and the people that are coming down. Looks like Miguel is stuck in traffic right now. So that actually works out for being on the broadcast. I can actually broadcast for a little bit longer. And if you share, we can make more of an impact together. I'm actually going to share this to a couple more groups that I know. One moment. Uh-oh. Gonna get water in here. Let's get this. Okay, there we go. All right, so a couple more groups and we can share this in. And let's get some help to Southwest Florida. All right, guys, I'm going to check out for now. Continue to share this and continue to tell people about relief efforts going down. And if you would like to participate in any way at all, even if it's volunteer help, we will certainly like your contact information so when the need arises in the next few days, we can connect with you. Be blessed. Talk to you guys soon.